All right, well, we have Linda Johnson with us. We're pleased to have met her a number of years ago in the office here, and very excited to share her story with us, with you about how chiropractic has improved her life and how it's made a big difference. So we're hoping that this will also inspire you to be motivated to make better changes or more commitment in your life to making the changes you know you need to make. So, Linda, I'd like to ask you is we were just talking. Basically, you can just say that again. What we're talking about, your story there.
Yeah. So several years ago, I had been suffering, putting up with neck pain, my wrists hurt, my hip hurt, but I lead a very different lifestyle than most. My work takes me all around the world and I spend far too much time on airplanes. So I just thought really there was nothing much could be done. But my husband persuaded me, because he's also a client of Glenn's, and he persuaded me to come and at least try it. So I thought, okay, what can I lose? And even with my lifestyle, which means I'm barely home more than 2 weeks and then I'm away at least 2 weeks, Glenn worked with me to put together a program that he said would move me towards a better lifestyle and one that could lead to a much richer, longer life. Well, who wouldn't say yes to that? So I thought, well, we'll give it a try. And I can honestly say that within 2 months, the pain in my neck, which I had endured for 2 years and thought was mine for keeps, had actually gone. And that was 2 years ago and it's never come back. I had forgotten, in fact, until my most recent assessment, that I actually had pains in my wrist and in my hip. Nothing of those either. I have come back regularly to Glenn, and I must stress that it isn't a program that insists that you are here every week or every 2 weeks, because if that were the case, I couldn't do it. Glenn has built the program around my lifestyle, and what has happened is that I've incorporated chiropractic into that lifestyle as and when I can and as regularly as I can. I believe that my energy, my health, has been enriched by chiropractic, by coming here. And I know I sound like some ad, but this is absolutely true. I spend far too much time on airplanes and sitting at desks and standing delivering lectures for me to think about anything other than the subject matter at hand. I don't need to think about anything else because nothing else actually hurts. And when I come back from a particularly long trip, I've pre-booked my time here and I come regularly and then I leave, and we manage that program together. And as I said to Glenn actually just last week, this isn't something that I'm prepared to give up. It's actually part of my life now.
Okay, awesome. All right, so there's a few things in there. First of all, you actually listened to your husband, so that's a good one. So that's key. But spouses tend to not listen to each other. They tend to filter each other out, especially when you live together a long time. You tend to downplay their intent or their message. So it does take persuasion, and so for you again that are listening, and persistence. Maybe get your spouse to watch this video as well, and let them hear if you know they need your help here, our help here. But the second thing is that I heard that that you saw results regardless of the program that we put you on. Like we set up a plan, we gave you a report of findings, and we had a very structured plan at the start. But obviously you couldn't follow that. And we emphasize that with other people too, is that think progress, not perfection. If you can't do it perfectly, doesn't mean you shouldn't do something. You should continue to work with, and we'll tailor our program to work with your schedule and your abilities the best that we can. As long as we can, as long as you move towards that tree on the right. That's the idea, right?
Yeah.
And not really based on how you feel, but more based on how you work. And that's key. So I just can you ask me a couple of more quick questions and then we're done. One is, could you imagine what your life would be like today if you hadn't listened to your husband?
I would say I would be slower, and part of the work that I do, I work in a young field. I work in fashion, apparel, retail. You have to have energy. You have to be seen to have energy. And the effort required to do that was getting tougher and tougher. My life today, honestly, I believe that I would be fighting really hard to find that energy.
Okay.
And it would be harder because I would be hurting.
Right. Okay. Good. And so, when do you see your health being like 5 years from now, 10 years from now?
Well, I'm going to keep, as I say, this part of my life, and if it's this kind of success, I'm going to keep myself properly nutritioned, because I do that anyway. But chiropractic is as much a part of my nutrition as any other food that I might eat. It's literally what I must do. So in 5 years' time, I see myself with the same energy, with the same enthusiasm. And hopefully, I'm convinced actually that it will be with the same level of non-pain.
Right. Okay, so that actually brought up another really important point, and that is that chiropractic is part of a lifestyle. It's not the solution in and of itself. And that's a lot of times what we have frustration with. People come in and expect us to fix them and to solve all their problems. But you work very hard at your health, you work hard at staying in shape, and you're conscious of what's bad for you, and you try to offset that with better choices, right?
Yeah.
So you really are an inspiration to us, and hopefully to those people that are watching. We thank you very much for taking some time out of your busy schedule to do
That was
this.
my pleasure.
So-
And may I just add one more comment, that I would honestly encourage anyone. I had all the excuses and all the reasons why this wasn't going to work. So stack them up against mine, and I think they probably wouldn't be worse. Come in and see, and just see and make the commitment to making yourself better.
Thank you. All right, thanks again.